You might think that the recent decline in ammunition prices is simply a result of lower demand or miscalculations by manufacturers. However, the truth is far more complex, involving everything from undisclosed government contracts to advances in smart ammunition technology. In this video, we'll explore why once expensive rounds are now being sold at bargain prices, and how leaked reports suggest a strategic push to flood the civilian market with surplus ammunition. To fully grasp this situation, we need to rewind to the early 2020s and examine how the U.S. found itself with an oversupply of ammo. During this time, a perfect storm of events caused millions of Americans to stockpile firearms and ammunition. Concerns over civil unrest, a global pandemic, and an election cycle that many perceived as a threat to gun rights led to massive shortages, empty store shelves, and skyrocketing prices. Some gun owners spent more time scouring online forums for 9mm ammo than actually practicing at the range. In response, manufacturers like Remington, Federal, and Winchester ramped up production, running their facilities non-stop and investing heavily in new machinery to meet the unprecedented demand, believing it would remain high for years to come. However, the initial buying frenzy eventually tapered off. By the end of 2023, many gun owners had accumulated more ammunition than ever before. While common calibers, such as 5.56mm, 9mm22 LR, and 308 dominated these stockpiles, the trend was clear. People had bought more than they could realistically use in the short term. Some who previously owned just a few boxes suddenly found themselves with stacks of ammo filling closets, safes, and garages. As inflation continued to squeeze household budgets, discretionary spending on additional ammunition declined. Many gun owners, prioritizing necessities like bills and groceries, slowed down their purchases, confident that they had enough ammunition to last a while. Predictably, the market adjusted. Promotional emails flooded inboxes, retailers slashed prices, and manufacturers introduced rebates to move excess stock. Local gun shops even uncovered forgotten pallets of ammunition in an effort to clear inventory. While this explains the initial drop in prices, it doesn't fully account for the deep discounts we're seeing now, discounts that go beyond the usual cycle of panic buying followed by oversupply. In the next segment, we'll explore the additional factors driving these unprecedented price cuts and what they mean for the future of the ammunition market. The influx of foreign-made ammunition into the U.S. market has further driven down prices. Manufacturers in countries like the Czech Republic, Serbia, and even some with indirect ties to Russian suppliers have resumed exports, flooding the supply chain with lower-cost rounds. Bulk shipments of steel-cased Kalashnikov cartridges, including the widely used 7.6 Tux 39mm, as well as 9mm NATO rounds that had nearly disappeared, are now available at prices significantly undercutting domestic brands. Meanwhile, American manufacturers that had been running at peak production levels suddenly found themselves with an overabundance of inventory. To avoid the financial strain caused by storage costs, insurance premiums, and shrinking profit margins, they were forced to liquidate excess stock. At a glance, this might appear to be just another cycle of supply and demand. However, leaked documents suggest there's more at play. Many ammunition producers had braced for tighter regulations that never materialized, fearing new taxes, restrictions, or licensing requirements that could trigger another surge in buying. These companies preemptively ramped up production. Insider reports indicate that early in Biden's presidency, rumors of sweeping firearm-related policies prompted manufacturers to increase their output significantly. Yet when these regulations failed to materialize, they were left with an unprecedented surplus. Now, with millions of rounds sitting idle, they are under pressure to sell off the excess before storage and security costs become too burdensome. This oversupply, however, isn't just the result of miscalculating political trends. Shifts in military contracts and controversy surrounding the Lake City Army ammunition plant have also played a pivotal role. This government-funded facility, which historically produces as many as 1.6 billion rounds per year, typically channels any excess ammunition into the civilian market, a practice widely appreciated by gun owners. However, in January 2024, a coalition of 20 state attorneys general, led by New York Attorney General Letitia James, urged the White House to scrutinize Lake City's role in supplying military-grade ammunition to the public. This group sent a formal request to the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, calling for an investigation into Lake City, a contractor-operated plant under U.S. Army oversight, known for producing billions of rounds annually, including those commonly used in AR-15-style rifles. According to reports, Lake City has sold a substantial quantity of these rounds on the civilian market. The coalition argues that federally subsidized ammunition has been linked to several high-profile mass shootings, including those in Buffalo, Parkland, Pittsburgh, and Uvalde. In one case, the Buffalo shooter allegedly praised Lake City rounds for their ability to penetrate barriers effectively. With over $860 million in taxpayer funds allocated to the facility, James and her colleagues are pushing for future military contracts to eliminate civilian sales entirely. They are also demanding a public report and long-term measures to reduce what they describe as the widespread accessibility of military-grade ammunition on American streets. This effort has gained traction among anti-gun states, including California, Illinois, and Michigan. While the political landscape has shifted since the departure of Brandon Herrera from the White House, this push remains highly influential due to support from multiple states advocating for stricter firearm regulations. If the administration pressures the military to cut off Lake City's sales to the civilian market, it could drastically alter ammunition availability moving forward. For a major defense contractor or a smaller ammunition brand that depends on Lake City's surplus, the growing legal uncertainties and the looming threat of contract cancellations create a strong incentive to liquidate inventory. Faced with the possibility of losing future deals, these companies are likely to move their stock at discounted prices, aiming to recover a portion of their investment before it's too late. This pressure has contributed to the steep price drops in 223, 5.56 mm, and even 22 LR ammunition in recent months. The fear of impending government restrictions has sparked a wave of preemptive sales. What do you think about the possibility of regulatory action on these transactions? Do you view it as a direct challenge to constitutional rights, or is it merely political maneuvering? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Government oversight isn't the only factor driving down ammo prices. Another key influence is the industry's pivot towards next-generation ordnance. A global ammunition market report indicates that manufacturers are increasingly investing in advanced smart rounds equipped with artificial intelligence, AI, and Internet of Things IoT capabilities. These high-tech munitions are engineered for precision targeting, specialized combat roles, and strategic strikes, reducing the emphasis on mass-produced full-metal jacket ball ammunition. As military budgets shift toward these innovations, traditional cartridge manufacturers find themselves holding excessive stockpiles of standard rounds, prompting them to unload surplus inventory onto the civilian market. Additionally, industry trends are moving towards more eco-friendly ammunition alternatives, driven by concerns over environmental impact. While this might seem beneficial in theory, it also raises the likelihood of new regulations that could restrict lead core bullets or introduce disposal fees for specific materials. If you're a manufacturer sitting on large quantities of lead-based ammo, you'd be eager to sell it off now rather than face expensive production adjustments or regulatory hurdles in the near future. This evolving landscape, coupled with Lake City's legal uncertainties, is forcing ammunition producers to preemptively lower prices to avoid financial pitfalls. Rising interest rates are also a significant factor. Consider a mid-tier ammunition company that borrowed heavily to expand its production facilities. As borrowing costs climb, the last thing they want is massive stockpiles of unsold inventory tying up capital. Cash flow is critical, and in an environment of higher debt servicing costs, selling ammunition at a reduced margin or even at a slight loss is often preferable to sitting on excess stock while warehouse fees accumulate. Additionally, the cost of insuring large quantities of explosive materials is considerable. If an insurer raises premiums due to increased inventory levels, the financial strain pushes companies to offload excess rounds. The risk of accidental incidents, along with the general unease surrounding the storage of billions of rounds, further compels manufacturers to scale down stockpiles. For consumers, this means seeing calibers like 308 or 35 ACP at price points reminiscent of pre-2020 levels. Some industry analysts even suspect a calculated strategy behind these price reductions. By saturating the market with affordable ammunition, manufacturers help keep gun owners content and reduce the likelihood of backlash against potential regulations. Historically, when ammo is abundant and cheap, fewer people voice concerns about government intervention. The prevailing mindset becomes, prices are low, so there's nothing to worry about. But if a sudden policy shift or global crisis emerges, these same companies can swiftly restrict supply, causing prices to skyrocket once more. This cycle has played out before, and many believe it will repeat as the next major election cycle approaches. The key takeaway? Don't be lulled into complacency just because 9mm rounds are currently selling at a bargain. So, what does all of this mean for us, the everyday gun owners who enjoy range time? On one hand, it presents a golden chance to stock up on ammunition at some of the lowest prices we've seen in recent years. If you're a regular shooter, now is a perfect time to secure enough rounds for months, possibly even years, without significantly straining your budget. Defensive ammo is also seeing discounts, with rebates and special offers making premium hollow points more affordable for those who want to keep their carry magazines topped off. However, there are a few important points to keep in mind. Not all discounted ammo is of the same quality. Some could be older surplus, which might still function just fine. But it's important to check for any signs of corrosion or damaged packaging. Additionally, some discounted rounds may come from lesser-known foreign manufacturers with a history of inconsistent quality control. While these might work adequately in most situations, if you're planning to use them for self-defense, it's a good idea to run a few magazines through your firearm to ensure reliability. The chance of a misfire is minimal, but it's something to consider. We also can't overlook the political climate around firearms. A single high-profile event can spur calls for stricter gun laws, potentially triggering another round of panic buying. Prices can skyrocket within days, forcing us to drain our bank accounts just to stock up again. If you've been in the firearms community for a while, you've seen this pattern unfold time and again. That's why, if financially possible, it's wise to buy when things are stable. We should also stay alert for any signs that major producers like Lake City might be restricted from selling to civilians, as that could create a ripple effect throughout the ammo market. The truth is, the recent drop in ammo prices didn't happen by chance. It's the result of a complex mix of political factors, miscalculations within the industry, changing military needs, legal challenges, and strategic moves by leading manufacturers. Some companies, fearing tougher regulations, produced far more than needed. Others realized too late that the demand surge of the 2020s was unsustainable. Meanwhile, the industry's shift towards smart munitions and eco-friendly materials has relegated conventional ammo to clearance bins to make room for newer technologies. Rising interest rates and the high cost of insurance have only made it more urgent to clear out existing stock. And we can't ignore the role that state attorneys general are playing in challenging civilian sales from facilities like Lake City. If this supply chain is disrupted, we could see another rapid price increase once the current surplus runs out. For now, though, we're reaping the benefits of low prices and abundant stock. It's a great time to train and shoot more without breaking the bank. But we must remain cautious, as unexpected changes in legislation or executive orders could quickly lead to another ammo shortage. Personally, I'm going to grab a few extra cases while I can, as we all know how quickly the political landscape can shift. But what about you? Do you have a stockpile of ammo? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates like this. Thanks for watching.